Sup people, it's your boy Sly. In this video, I'm going to talk about why relationships fail in America. One reason why they fail in America is due to finances. And it's never having too much money, it's always lack of money. Okay? Lack of money is why people tend to break up most of the time. People like to say it's because of personality conflicts or based on communication. Nope. The number one reason for all breakups in America is finances. It's over money. It doesn't mean every relationship fails because of money. It's just the majority of reasons why they fail. In most case scenarios. And the thing that's so interesting about it is that lack of money is what causes problems. So like these people, sometimes these people who are working these low-end jobs, they tend to buy fancy cars, or they tend to buy expensive apartments and everything. There may be some case scenarios where they may not be able to pay the rent, based on the income level or because of unforeseen circumstances. It can be anything, right? It's not always because they buy fancy clothes and fancy cars. It could just be a situation where they just can't afford certain things at that point in time. So not be able to pay the rent. They can't pay their bills, and all that shit starts happening. And the last thing you need to worry about is not paying your bills, because you're living with this woman, or you're living with your boyfriend, what the fuck it is, and you have to spend 2 days without electricity because both y'all ain't got the money, right? That's part of the reason why couples break up. See, working these dead-end jobs and living together, people think, oh, that's the best way to save money. It's not. That's not a good way to save money. It's really not. If that's a temporary plan for 12 months or less, yes, that's pretty much a good thing. But anything more than 12 months, you're gonna combine two low-income wages into one. It doesn't work. It does not work. Okay? That's part of the reason why these things happen. I'm not going to be working at a low end. For example, I'm not going to be working at Walmart for $10 an hour. Then I have my girlfriend living with me. She makes probably around the same amount of money. So we're basically making $20 an hour combined, right? And by the time that stuff happens, what happens? You have to pay a rent. Rent can be, I don't know, I'm just guessing, maybe $1,000. Then you have to pay your electric bill. Let's slap on maybe $100. They have to pay your water bill. You have to pay your insurance. Your this. You don't have any money left over. You just don't. And that is when most of the time one of you or one or the other starts to leave. You know what? I can't do this. They walk out, because most of the time when you work a low-end job, you have stress. Most of the time, stress is added upon it. Okay, so the last thing you need to worry about is paying the bills. So, and one thing that guys don't understand is women don't give a damn about love. If you can't take care of yourself, or if you can't give her a lifestyle that's comfortable, she's going to leave. Why is it that most of the time when a woman leaves a man, she always upgrades? She doesn't stay on the same level. You see what I mean? Let me just give you some example. If a woman's boyfriend is making, for example, I'm just gonna throw a random number, maybe $15 an hour, right? The next boyfriend she will get immediately will be making at least $20 an hour, or more than that. Because women are using their assets to get the quality of man that she's looking for. You see what I mean? In some case scenarios, I don't blame them. It's very easy to call all women gold diggers, but it's not. I'm speaking from a logical standpoint. The whole point about being in a relationship is to have a good quality of life. That is why you date somebody. It's to make your life easier, whether it's mentally, spiritually, or financially, any way you want to call it. Okay? The mistakes that men make is that they tend to get involved with a woman who is all about the Benjamins, and he keeps trying to like live outside his means to please her. And this happens all the time. You know what I mean? This happens a lot of times. Women are upgrading all the time. Women are looking for the better man. Because once they knock 30, it's game over. It's game over. Believe it or not, when I tell you this, it's game over. There are some guys who are wealthy, or guys who are financially stable. They don't even date girls past age 30 at all. They don't even look at them. They go for girls who are 18 through 21. That's what they do. That's what some guys are doing. Because most of the time, when you date a girl who's past 30, most of the time, she wants to settle down. She wants to find a man that will give her kids, or she wants a family. So it doesn't really work if a man wants to have fun and she wants to settle down. It can cause conflict. So that's why a lot of guys like dating girls who are 18 and 19. Because most girls who are 18 and 19 and 20, they just want to have fun. They're not thinking about having a family. They're not thinking about building an empire. They just want to have fun. That's what's happening. And believe me when I tell you this, I've seen a lot of 30-year-olds who are sexy as hell, but who wants the baggage? I've seen some girls who are 35, 40, who are smoking, who have banging bodies at their ages, but no man who is of substance wants to date them. Why? Because when you date a woman past age 35 or even 30, they want to build a family. They want to settle down because they know the party train is over. Them getting like free vacations or being offered free items at concerts or grocery stores, whatever you want to call it. Like all the free stuff they get, it starts to decline. That's when they want to settle down. When she can't get the wealthy guy anymore, she settles down for anybody that will take her. Have you not seen this stuff? Where I have seen girls who are very, very attractive women. I've seen girls who are very, very attractive. Are all single mothers. Not all of them, a lot of them are single mothers. Why is it that many attractive women are single mothers? Because they're probably banging some dude whom she liked, who was probably wealthy or probably successful in some way. And she probably had the kid because she thought that she would stay with him or get child support. And it didn't work out that way. Now, she's a single mom. When I see a woman past 30 and she's very attractive, I automatically assume she has a kid. Automatically. Because there's no way a woman will be very attractive and no guy is banging her. There's no way. No way. Sorry. Don't believe it. As in most case scenarios, not in all cases, but in most cases. It's like that. But a lot of times people don't understand this, but money tends to fulfill your needs. That's why it's good to go for a career that pays the bills. It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter how nice you are. It doesn't matter. Okay? If you can't take care of yourself or take care of a woman or your family, they're going to leave you. Regardless of circumstance, they are going to leave you. It's not always about love. And a lot of times, by the time you become successful, you can have any guy you want. Sorry. I mean, you can have any girl you want. Or either way, when you're successful, you can have anybody you want if you swing both ways. Okay? But the thing is, there are so many people who do this stuff. It's called upgrading. People upgrade once they achieve a certain amount of success. Another reason why relationships fail, to what I understand, is because of different professions. That's one thing that people don't understand, right? Different professions is the reason why relationships usually fail. Because when you work in a different career path, you and your partner tend to have different values, or you tend to have different lifestyles. Like, let me give you an example. You have a dentist married to a teacher. Okay? A dentist is pretty much a person who's in the healthcare field, right? And a teacher is in the academic field. Yes, both people may understand both professions of each other. They may understand it, but they don't actually understand like certain things. For example, you come home from work, okay? You were in the hospital or your clinic the whole day, right? You come home from work, you try talking to your partner about what happened in the dental clinic where the guy was working, right? And you're telling her all these things. For example, like the stuff you went through the patients, or you had to deal with the insurance companies and all that other stuff. And she may not be able to relate to you. It's going to be like, oh, okay, yeah. You know what I mean? Same thing with the teacher. The teacher is in academia. She went through school. She had a hard day with the students, or she's venting about the other teachers and what they're doing, or what happened, what the new policies in the educational field was going to happen. And the guy's like, oh, okay, yeah. He's not really going to give much insight about it because he's not interested in that. You see what I mean? But when people are in the same field, it makes perfect sense. That's why when a lot of times when people like leave their partners and they find somebody else, or when someone wants to date, they look for someone within their field because there's something to talk about. Let me give you an example. You have a medical doctor who dates nurses. They're in the same field. You understand what I mean? They are in the same field. So the doctor, even though the doctor and nurse are different professions, they're still in the same healthcare field. The doctor can talk about his patient and what happened, and the wife or his partner or his girlfriend say, oh, I understand. He can give insight on that stuff. You see what I mean? That's how it works. That's how that stuff works. Different professions in relationships usually don't last. Usually they don't last. Because you're in a different world. You know? It's something that people don't really understand why it really works out. It doesn't really work out in some cases. I'm on this website and and I'm seeing this stuff where some professions, people who marry in the same professions, right? I don't know when the survey was done exactly, so every source is different. You understand? So this is what I am seeing here. People have spouses in different fields, in the same fields. Number one is farming, fishing, and forestry, 25%. Management, 19%. Sales, 18%. Education, 16%. Healthcare practitioners, 16%. Industrial production, 16%. Law, 15%. Computer science, 13%. These are just some of these lists, right? And it's true. Like, when you date someone within your own field, it's like you have a common ground. You see what I mean? Like, a lot of reasons why marriages don't really last anymore is because part of the reason is because when you marry someone in a different career path, it doesn't work. I'm sorry, it does not work. It doesn't work. I'm not saying everyone's case is like this. I'm just speaking on average. Okay, on average, why these things don't work. People don't think. People just think, oh, it makes me laugh about some of these women who will go and chase these doctors and lawyers. They just go and chase them. They pursue them and whatever you want to call it, right? Then they try to pursue a relationship with them on a serious note. It doesn't work out because these men are on a whole nother level, a whole nother ball game. And the women out there are just trying to get a man that's rich and wealthy, but these men are trying to be with people who understand them. Of course, if you want to have a fling, believe me, you can have a fling, no one really cares. But when it comes to like a serious relationship, or when it comes to building an empire, they're not choosing these random girls. They're not. They're not choosing them. That's why some of these women are now going around complaining, oh, where do these rich guys hang out? How do I get a rich man? Like, there was one story I read online that happened a few years ago. One lady posted an ad on Craigslist talking about how can she find a man that makes $500,000 a year in New York City, because she wrote that $500,000 in New York City is middle class. I never been to New York City, so I don't know how things are done over there, but I do know that place is expensive. And she posted an ad that how do you find a man who makes $500,000 a year? Then she went on to say that she said that there's a girl in her yoga class who is not as attractive as her, but she attracted like I think an investment banker. An investment banker in New York City, he's making 7 figures, guaranteed. And she's asking about how do you find a man who makes 500 grand? I mean, it would be easier for her to just make her own money instead of her chasing a man that will, take care of her. But it shows you how things really operate out here. Women don't understand the game. It's not true in all cases, but many women, it's easier to join a man's empire and control it than to build their own. That's why so many girls like chasing guys, because it's a way for her to upgrade her class without any real work. But that shit ain't happening no more. Many doctors are marrying other doctors or marrying nurses. They're dating people within the same field because they can build something together. This is what's going on. So there's no way, for example, you have a computer tech guy who's going to marry like a female who's in freaking sales and shit, or take them, or something like that. You're not gonna find a person in law who's gonna go and marry someone who is a firefighter. It's just not gonna happen. And I know there's exceptions to every rule. Yes, I know that. But this is what's going on. People don't understand why this shit feels. Just like now, what happens to some guys? But even girls too. When they win the lottery, what's the first thing they do? In most case scenarios, they dump their current partner and go for someone who is more attractive. Guy or girl, don't matter. You see what I mean? This is what's happening. You see what I mean? So people think they're just going to wake up one day and pursue some random person and think it's going to work. It doesn't work that way. Women think it's okay to just look pretty, and hopefully things will work out. It doesn't work that way. Not anymore. Like, let me go back to my previous point about people upgrading. Look at all these celebrities, for example. When they were on the come up, what happened? Most of them had the wives, the faithful girlfriends on the come up, right? Once they got that fame, what did they do? They dropped them. You want me to name a few? Okay, I can name a few for you. Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was married to his wife, who gave him 2 kids. And he cheated on her, I think, with his current wife. I think. That's what I heard. I don't know how, I don't remember. I don't know the story very well. But that happened. Same thing happened with Dwayne Wade. He had the girlfriend. Once he got wealthy, dropped her. Okay? And it's just the way it is. You know what I mean? Because it goes back to what I was saying before. What are you guys gonna talk? What are you gonna talk about? If I'm a celebrity, for example, and I'm making 7 figures, I'm going to parties with film producers. I'm going to parties with other actors, and just, I'm in a whole different world. Your partner is just a housewife. How's that shit what are you two gonna talk about? Seriously, what are you gonna talk about? He's talking about people he met, his future projects, and the wife is just there like, no, I took the kids to their school today, or I made dinner. Like, what the fuck? That shit doesn't work anymore. That shit does not work. If you really want to build something, you got to be within the same professional field. Because that's the only way that it's going to mean something. That is why most of the time, why do you think in many case scenarios, when people break up or they go through a divorce, there's always the person who makes way less money always asking for a high payout. Why is it always like that? Because they ain't got nothing. If you have a man making 7 figures and he's with this woman that makes less than 50K, of course he's gonna try and sue and get some money out of it. You see what I mean? But if we're both making 7 figures, if we're both making 6 figures, in many case scenarios, you can walk away, she can walk away without a loss that's gonna hurt them in a deep way. But that's part of the reason why relationships fail. Different career paths is why people fail in many case scenarios. People don't understand this, but if you really want to get married or if you want to build a relationship empire with somebody, they gotta be within the same field. If I'm in the healthcare field, I'm gonna date someone who's in the healthcare field. If I'm in the law profession field, I'm gonna date someone who is in the law profession field. Look at these tech gurus, all these tech companies. They built their stuff with their partners, with their girlfriend, because they're both within the same field. It makes sense. You see what I mean? You build things with people in the same field as you. There's no way for someone like me, if I want to build a clinic, right? I'm not gonna talk to someone who's in social services for money. No. It's not. No. I'm not doing that. So you have to understand why things are the way they are sometimes. 'Cause a lot of people get confused and they say, oh, this guy, as soon as he made it, he just changed. What the fuck you think's gonna happen? What the fuck you think's gonna happen? People don't understand why girls dump their boyfriends after they graduate college. Because the woman graduated from college, she is now in a whole nother career. the boyfriend is still maybe doing something that she doesn't find interesting. Like a woman, for example, who's in healthcare, for example. Let's just say, for example, she's like a nurse and an anesthesiologist, for example, right? She had a boyfriend while they're in college. Now they both graduated. She has a job making about 200 grand a year as a nurse and an anesthesiologist, right? Her boyfriend, he's still trying to get his shit together. She's not gonna be with him. She makes 200 grand a year. Okay? She's in the hospital meeting all sorts of people of different income classes. Why would she waste her time with her current boyfriend trying to get his shit together? Those days are over. That is just not gonna happen. So people need to understand that money plays a big role in relationships. It's not always about them being gold diggers. It's about social economics. It's about social classes. But people don't understand that. They just think, oh, well, I was here and I was... No, it's not about that. That's part of the reason why a lot of people become, jealous lovers, become stalkers, become envious motherfuckers. Because their partner was able to build something and they weren't able to build anything. So that's how you end up in court. They're trying to get money out of you because they never worked hard to get anything. So it's easier to take from someone else. People upgrade for a reason. Because when you date someone within your social economic class, you have less problems. Okay? Think about it. Let me just end this. But think about it for a second. You're making $90,000 a year, right? You're making $90,000 a year. And your girlfriend only makes 30 grand a year. Okay? You end up paying for everything, right? You pay the rent, you pay the cable bills, you pay the car notes, you pay the electric bill. Even when you go out to dinner, you pay for it. It's gonna get old after a while. It's gonna be like, damn, can't this girl pay for anything? You're gonna get tired of it. So what's gonna happen? You're gonna find somebody who makes at least 70 grand a year. So even if you two go out, or you two whatever, or you two go out, even if you two don't go out, you already know your partner is not with you for the money. It's because they actually like you. But when you date someone who makes way less than you, the high possibility is all about the money. In most cases, not in all cases, but in many cases, it's all about the Benjamins. So that is why when you see someone making like $250 a year, they date other people who make $250 a year. Or you see celebrities date other celebrities, because when they date non-celebrities, the non-celebrity person they're dating will use them for money, use them for fame, and that's how that shit starts happening. So, and just date within your class and you have less problems. Like, why do you think most celebrities, when they drop their spouse who was with them on the come up, they date someone else that's famous? Or they date someone who works in the business? It's because it is to eliminate potential gold diggers, male or female. Because you have some male gold diggers out there. Trust me, I've seen them. Even in the news, I mean, even if you follow these celebrities once in a while, you know what I'm talking about. So that's part of the reason why it's better to date within your own class. So I know there's many guys out there on the come up trying to get their shit together. Within time, you will make it. Don't settle for a life. Don't settle for a job that makes anything less than 70 grand a year. Do not settle. Because if you make 70 grand a year, within 5 or 6 years, that money will increase, because any job you work, they increase your salary. So within 4 or 5 years, you probably make at least six figures easily. So never settle for a job that pays less than 70 grand a year. That's why so many guys out here on the come up like myself, we are suffering right now. We're going through our struggles. We're going through the bullshit. We're just trying to get our shit together because once you achieve success, you can't go back down. When you are successful in life, more people will be around you. More people will want to talk to you. When you're not successful, nobody wants to talk to you. I don't care if it's your family. I don't care if it's your friends. If you're not successful, no one's going to talk to you. In fact, people will even start to avoid you because nobody wants to be around losers. You feel me? So, just let me know what you think in the comments. Peace.